Washington football. Woo! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burgundy Zone for our joint pregame pod episode featuring two of the best fan-based podcasts in the game, Freddie Ham of the HTWeAre podcast and Andy Burrows of the DC Tweet Team podcast. Thank you for joining us tonight, fellas. What a day. What a day. We got a playoff game tonight. How are we feeling?
It's the playoffs, baby. It's going to be, and it's not game day yet, Carl. Game day is tomorrow morning at 1:15 a.m.
For you guys.
I'm super excited. It's been a long time since we've had this. Literally cannot wait. It's we've had Christmas, and it's like Christmas has come again.
I don't know how you guys do it in the UK and over in Europe. I know Sergio Martin is in Spain. You guys are up at 1, 2 in the morning watching the game in full and then going to work the next day. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, so this one for us, I think, tonight, 1:15 a.m. It will end around 4:30 a.m. So it'll be good, but we're not working. We're locked down over here, so it don't matter. It's, we can sleep all day.
I'll tell you right now, if I was drinking like you are right now, I would be asleep by 1 a.m. There is no doubt about it. I'd be knocked the hell out. And then Freddie with the HTWeAre. I'm sorry that Maddie couldn't be able to join us today to be able to do the pregame. But guys, we have a playoff game tonight. I've wanted to celebrate the season. I wanted to talk with you guys because a lot has happened, honestly, to us as podcast hosts over the course of the season. You know, this has been such a roller coaster type of season on and off the field. I wanted to kind of talk about where we are right now, how the year has gone, and we wanted to start the baseline where right before the season, Coach Rivera gets diagnosed with cancer. And at that point, it wasn't like about the team, you know, like we were all sitting here thinking like, my goodness, like this team, like as soon as we have something good going, this happens, you know, and then Ron Rivera prevails through. What were you guys thinking back then, Freddie?
I was just thinking first and foremost about Coach's health.
Right.
Like I really didn't care about the other stuff, you know, and I think it's important to, and I try to remind people all the time that we're dealing with, you know, people first. And this whole sport thing is a secondary thing. Like the kind of people who really just put way too much into these athletes and think that these football players and coaches owe them something.
Right.
You know, but without getting too far off track. But I mean, my first impression was, or my first thought was, man, I really hope that Coach is okay. And I know the type of person he is. I knew that he would fight and he would fight hard. And then once my thought shifted to football, I thought to myself two things. I actually thought, and I don't want to mischaracterize this and say that it's positive. It's not. It's a negative thing.
I understand.
But I do feel like when you have to overcome something like that, when your coach, you know, who you really care about and believe in is going through something, it is a galvanizing factor. And I do think that has proven to be true this year. And I felt really, really good knowing that we had JDR. You know, we had a professional like Jack who had been a head coach, who's no bullshit, just like Ron. So, you know, if it had gotten to a point where, and honestly, Ron probably should have taken some time away, but he's just not that kind of guy. But I felt good knowing that Jack was there and Jack could lead this team, you know. So,
yeah,
so I felt good about that. Real quick, I don't know if you just saw the report. Ian Rappaport just reported that Mike Evans is going to start in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course he is. We had Trevor Sikkema.
He was always going to do.
Yeah, we had Trevor Sikkema on Thursday, and it's kind of like with Terry McLaurin in Week 17. You know, this hasn't come by. The last time that they had a playoff game was in 2005 versus the Washington Redskins at that time. And so
they lost.
Mike Evans is not going to just sit out for this game. He's going to give everything he can unless, like Hall said with Alex Smith, unless his leg is hanging off. Like, there is no way he's not going to be playing in this game. And so that's how I kind of felt about it. But going back with Coach, I think you're absolutely right about your original sentiment. And one of the biggest things for me, like looking at this DC job, one of the reasons that we had to settle with guys like Jay Gruden was because a very acclimated head coach and Mike Shanahan came here to run the team and got chased out with pitchforks, essentially, by the owner, by the fan base because of RG3. And nobody looked at this job as a challenge, you know, as saying, I can do it. And like, I'm going to take that weight on my shoulders, and I'm going to be the one to be able to steer this fan base back to where it needs to be. And the fact that Ron Rivera sat there and said, yes, I will take that. I will take that challenge. And then with everything in the offseason, with the name change, with the sexual assault allegations, like, I didn't want Ron Rivera to look at it as a mistake of him coming here. I didn't want him regretting the decision. And so when he did get diagnosed with cancer, I was sitting here thinking, like, dude, like, I want to make sure that you aren't getting bullied into this by the fan base or the higher ups, that you have to, like, if you need to take that time, take it. Because the last thing I want is you regretting anything that you did. You know, like, I don't want you having to stick and going through cancer, then thinking back, like, maybe I shouldn't have taken this job. Maybe I should have taken some time back. And that's how I felt. And the fact that he took that job as a challenge, he was the absolute best hire that Ron Rivera has ever had. I mean, not Ron Rivera, Dan Snyder's ever had, in my opinion. And I love the guy. He is the perfect leader for this organization. He is the one guy who can look at Dan Snyder in the face and tell him, no, shut up. This is what's happening. And that is the reason why I was so ecstatic about it. And I wanted him to take the time that he needed to be able to get over it. And thankfully he did. What about you, Burrows? What were you thinking at that time?
The same as you guys. First of all, it was, you just want him to be healthy. And when you hear that news, you're just thinking, oh boy, such an unfortunate thing to happen. Just got a new coaching job. But in saying that, I think, and I'm not, what he went through was terrible, but I think what he went through epitomizes us as a team. We were like, well, if coach can go through cancer treatment while we're playing in the season, then we can go out there and give our all for this team. And for a coach who's literally fighting for his life during a game, he's on IV drips at halftime. He's, so this team, I think that epitomized us. And I'm not using that as an excuse of why we've done what we've done, but I think as a group of players and as an organization, we thought, look, if this man can go through what he's going through, the least we can do is go out on a Sunday and give it absolutely everything we've got for this man who's literally sitting with an IV drip in his arm at halftime, just so he can be here and coach us. So it epitomizes the man. It's been probably since Joe Gibbs, I'd say he has been the best appointment this organization has ever had.
No, without a doubt, it really is. And then the first game of the season, going against the Philadelphia Eagles. Before the game, I said, everyone keeps making comments about this team not winning many games, winning 3 to 4 games. A lot of the pundits had us ranked as a 32nd in the league heading into the season. We weren't expecting much out of this team. They go in week 1 and they punch Philly in the mouth. They get 7 sacks against Carson Wentz of the Philadelphia Eagles. And everyone starts thinking to themselves, whoa, is this really something? Could this really be the team? And I remember saying before the season that, we don't know how this division's going to shape out. We got 2 new head coaches in Mike McCarthy and Joe Judge. And then with the Philadelphia Eagles, they're injury depleted. They don't have their wide receivers. They're playing with literally nobody on the offensive line. So there is a very good chance that this team could win the division. And on top of that, I'm not sure about you guys. Did you guys obviously interviewed people with the organization, and you would ask them before the season or early on if Alex Smith would be able to play again. And what did they say?
It was, no one thought that they would see him. Let's be honest, no one thought that we would see him. As much as we all thought it'd be a great love story that if we got on the field. I've listened to you guys speak, Freddie speak. Whoever we've interviewed, whether it be from Judy Donaldson to JP Finley, Kevin Sheehan had a bet with JP Finley. I think it was for quite a lot of money he wouldn't see. Yeah, it was like $150, something like that he wouldn't see the field. Wow. And they were like, just the fact that he's on the field is, again, sums up what we are as a football team this season.
Just warriors, in my opinion. And that's how I feel about it. And I'm not sure about you guys, Freddie, but I remember how you guys felt as we as a fan base had no idea what was going to happen with Alex. And this season, this is why I wanted to talk about it, because it's something out of a movie. Is it not? Not only with a name change and have to going through all of that with the coach getting cancer, but the guy who literally had his leg snapped in half 2 years ago is starting and winning games for you. And if you could characterize the season, Freddie, what would it be?
Would be team. I know, and I know that's so cliche, and people, a lot of the buzzwords that go around, is hope, that's a big one. Brotherhood, which sort of amounts to the same thing, but when I say team, I truly mean the team itself. Yes, the football team, but I also am talking about the coaching staff, the front office, the social media team. I mean, literally everybody. This team, award winning. This team, this community, this fan base, everybody. I mean, I've never felt anything like this my entire time being a fan of this franchise. It really does feel like we are one team. And when I say we, I literally mean everyone, from the players to just us yahoos sitting around talking about football with each other. Like, we're like, do you get what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and without, and I'm not getting paid by this. This is not a plug for the marketing department for the Washington football team, but I swear
Freddie's got a job and hasn't told us.
It is perfect. It makes so much sense, okay, that we are the Washington football team, okay? Because the whole no name but team, for this season anyway, is the perfect moniker. I mean, literally could not get any better.
No, it couldn't.
That's truly what it is.
Would you guys miss if they changed the name now? If we weren't called football team, would you miss it?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say I would miss it. What I would say is it would be viewed as something like a commodity, as like whenever you think about like historical figures and stuff like that, when people have like rookie cards and stuff like that, and they say that one miracle season with this, like that's how I would view it, like that one special year that we were the football team. And like Freddie said, it really just encapsulates everything that has gone on this season. They then lose 3 straight. They benched Dwayne Haskins. And there were a lot of people in the fan base I saw on social media that was calling for Ron Rivera to possibly be fired, that this was a terrible decision, that he was benching Dwayne Haskins, and that he was throwing away the opportunity for this guy. And there was a lot of conspiracy theories thrown around why that happened, because of something in the locker room. I'm not sure if that ever got substantiated, but that was like the first kind of clog, right? That was like the first kind of, what's going on here? This is bad. This is bad. And then here comes Kyle Allen. He loses a couple games. He gets injured. And then, man, the movie starts right there. Alex Smith comes in, and he looked bad against the Rams. I'm going to sit here and tell you he should not have been on the field that day. Remember when he came in against the Rams that second half? He looked putrid. He could not throw the ball more than 8 yards. And then later on down the road, he gets a start, and we win, 4 straight with Alex Smith?
Yeah, 4 on the bounce.
Try to put that in a bottle for the fans and the guys listening right now.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I still can't believe it. The fact that he's even on the football field. We all go back to the documentary, and we go back to the countless replays that the networks have shown of that injury. The fact that he's even on the football field, and hopefully he plays tonight and he's on the field, because I think he gives us a good chance of winning. But I've done a few interviews today, and everyone is rooting for the Washington football team because of things like him and Ron Rivera and what we've been through, from going to the Redskins to the football team. All non-Washington fans, I would say, I can't speak for all of them, but everyone I've spoke to today, I've done 2 shows over here in the UK today. Pittsburgh's fans, Detroit, everyone, you name every NFL team, they've all been on there, and they've all said if their team are not playing or winning, they want the Washington football team to win.
Now that's amazing to hear.
I've actually, Andy, I've actually got a little bit of anecdote, a little bit of a tidbit there as well. Just real quick, if I may, just because of this, the Cinderella story that we have here with this team.
Perfect.
Called the team. I have a good friend who lives down here. He's a diehard fan of the NFL. He plays fantasy football. He follows the whole league, but he's never picked his team. He's just been a fan of the whole league for years and years and years. I watch football with him all the time. And I hadn't talked to him this season. And I talked to him last week. He said, hey, we need to watch some of these playoff teams together. He said, Freddie, I picked a team finally. I said, really? What team did you pick? He said, I picked your team. I'm like, you're kidding me. He's like, no, I'm a Washington fan. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, the story, the defense that you guys have, your resilience, your coach, everything about this team I absolutely love. And I'm a fan of Washington now. I'm a new fan. I have not heard somebody tell me that they're a new fan of this franchise ever.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Like I'm from the DC area. Obviously, you guys, Andy's in the UK. Freddie, you're down in southern, southeast Virginia, right? So, like,
Right.
in my area, one of the biggest gripes that I have had was that fans of the NFL are generally in this area fans of other teams. You know, in our group chat, there's a handful of us, 3 or 4 of us out of 12, that are actual Washington fans. The rest are a mix of the Packers, Steelers, Buccaneers, go down the list, Eagles, Giants. And one of my friends that is a Raiders fan, we did the Drunkie show last week, and he was telling me, you know, I'm rooting for you guys. And this guy literally talks crap about Washington all the time over the years. You know, it was always pressing on our necks and stuff like that when this happens. But you kind of can see at that point when you take a step back and say, wow, look at the stride that they've taken. Like, look at where they are. These people that used to run their mouths about them, and they would be the ones that would go to FedEx Field and go for the party when something big was going down, like in 2015, and which I hated. Like, you're not a Washington fan. You should not be going and getting drunk and then celebrating at FedEx for the game if you're not for the team. I understand that you want to go have a good time, but if you're not for the team, you shouldn't be going. And to see that kind of coming back around with some winning and an actual good foundation, it is a complete 180 in 1 year. Ron Rivera got hired last January, him and Jack Del Rio, and to see where we are now, I couldn't imagine. And I want to give a lot of credit to all the podcasts out there because we follow all of them, really, and we listen to all of them. And the one thing is that we were doing pods before it was cool to do. You know, when it was a punchline, when the name changes going down, the sexual assault allegations, we were still here. We kept chugging, and we battled through the offseason we went through, and we continue to go with them throughout the season. And to see where they are now, a lot of credit to everyone who did it, because not a lot of people would have done it, in my personal opinion. It wasn't the cool thing to do, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Kyle, real quick, I gotta say props to Burgundy Zone, props to you, Kyle, and props to you, Andy, props to Maurice, props to DC Tweet. Props to all the podcasts. By the way, props is a registered trademark of HTWeAre.
Yeah, do we have to start?
I got yelled at one time for using it by mistake.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of doing props when I hosted the HTWeAre podcast. It was an honor.
Yeah, I know. We got someone else real special lined up for our final edition of props. Ooh. I can't tell you who it is.
I cannot wait to hear that, Freddie. But let's rope this back around because this is the pregame pod, right? And to see where this team is right now, we've kind of gone over it and the fact that not that many people picked for them to be here. It's a celebration today. I know that everyone is expecting them to get their butt beat by Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, traveling to FedEx Field, but I wanted to make sure that we were celebrating the season, celebrating where we are right now, and the fact that them being here is something special and something that should be excited about, something that should be talked about and celebrated, in my personal opinion. So is there a play over the season, one football play that the team did that really encapsulates the season for you guys?
For me, any play that Logan Thomas has done this season, because he was written off so much. I think I've done podcasts, I've been on podcasts, spoke to Washington fans. Oh, he's not a tight end one. He's just a quarterback playing tight end. You know what I mean? So, and I said straight away, I was drawn to this guy. Anything that I seen him do, I was amazed. His touchdown catch last week was unbelievable. Yeah. You know, it was, the guy has come from playing quarterback to being the fact that he's even mentioned in the Pro Bowl talk, from being a college quarterback and being drafted as a quarterback. Let's not forget that he was drafted, and then he ends up at tight end. Can you name me many players in the NFL that have been drafted as a quarterback that are now playing somewhere else?
Drafted at any position, playing a different position.
But he's not just playing at that position.
Oh yeah.
He's so good at that position as well. And you look around the league at tight ends in the league, I would say he's in the top 5.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He definitely is. And he's proven that by now because he is a good run blocker as well. But he also, we saw 2 weeks ago when he's blocking on the edge, turns around for that screen, goes upfield, gets the first down, and then still runs over guys to get there. I mean, that kind of talks about Logan Thomas altogether. He can block, he can catch, he can run upfield fast, and he runs over guys. It's just proving to that point. The one play for me that I think really perfectly sums up the season is the Cam Sims one-handed catch against Pittsburgh.
Oh.
And the reason why I say that is because on the play, Cam Sims is running that streak down the sideline, and the corner is literally holding his wrist back, is holding on to him for dear life, and Cam Sims with the stickies still catches it with one hand. And that's how I kind of feel about the Washington football team. They've had every single excuse in the book to quit. They've had every single excuse, every single reason to say this isn't the season. This is rebuild. We shouldn't be winning these games. Let's get a high draft pick. No, they continue to fight and they continue to do it and get the job done. So that play, I think, really sums up the season for me. Everything has been trying to hold them back, but they continue to persevere. So for me, that was the play of the year. What about you, Freddie?
The play for me would probably be that sums up the whole year would be that crazy fumble with Antonio Gibson where it went out. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that would have been the play that summed up the old team, who we were before.
You're right.
But it is fun, especially when you watch the video where it's set to the Benny Hill music. But
the English Benny
the
Hill
play
music.
for me, yes. The play for me that really sums it up, and it's going to be an iconic play. It's going to be one that goes down in Washington lore, and I have specific reasons for it. It's that play against the 49ers. It's the scoop and score from Chase Young, where he picked up that fumble off the ground, and he literally stole it out of Bostic's hands. Yep. I think was trying to recover it. He took it right out of his hands and was just running down the field, gassed, just Forrest Gumping it the whole way, and the whole team is running along with him. I think that play really encapsulates this team. One, it was a defensive play. Mm-hmm. And we're a defensive team. I mean, hell, we finished the season number 2 defense in the league, and we don't even have all of our pieces yet. That's what is really, really scary, and really what makes me so hopeful about this defense. Because we've been talking about, can the defense be elite? And the thing is, and I'm not going to say that they're elite, but they've been flirting with that line, man. If they're not elite yet, but they're really, 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 really good, okay? So, but and the thing about that play that gets lost in that is that, Deron Payne got the penetration in the middle, and the whole defensive line got the pressure there, forcing the quarterback out. And then Deron Payne, when he was bringing him down, got his big mitten there and knocked that ball out. No one talks about that. He gets no credit for that, right? But it really was a team play, the whole play, and I really feel like that's what this team is about. And no one complains about not getting the glory and not getting their spotlight. Like, they really don't give a shit about that. They care about each other. Like, they're genuinely happy for everyone making their plays, no matter who it is. Like when Chase gets a sack that probably should have been Montez's, or Montez gets one that probably should have been Chase or whatever. But no, they're happy for each other. There really is truly this brotherhood, this bond. Bill Parcells talked about it, and I know this team hasn't won a championship yet, but I say yet. Parcells would talk about his guys and his teams, and he was a team builder, and Rivera is very similar to Parcells in a lot of ways, actually.
Yeah, he is.
But he talked about when you go through this with these players and you achieve the things that you do, it goes beyond, just a team. There's this blood kinship. That's the phrase that he uses, that's created with these guys. And I feel like they already have that, and I've never seen that. And this is the thing too. That's, not so common around the league as a whole, even with teams that are really, really talented. That's why there's so many really talented teams that never make it there, or they just don't quite have the right chemistry, and that's one of the things about this team too, is you feel like they're getting the right players. They're getting the best players for what they're trying to do, not necessarily, the best player overall. They're getting the person that fits. I mean, hell, look at Cam Sims, look at Jeremy Reeves, look at the secondary. It's not a big name secondary. We got one of the best secondaries in the league. Yeah. It's just so that play right there as a team, that word's coming back, team.
Terry McLaurin.
When I think about this season, that's what I'm going to think about.
Terry remember Terry chasing down, making the tackle?
Yes.
What game was that?
Saving our season against the Cowboys.
Cowboys. Terry.
On Thanksgiving. Yes.
That play was... There you go. You want to epitomize team. Yeah. That fact that everyone had gave up on that play. We're like, oh no, pick 6. Here we go. Terry turns up like Roadrunner from nowhere makes an unbelievable tackle. You know,
Terry goes,
that epitomizes the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Right
well,
there.
how do you the goal line stand against Pittsburgh, where we held them on not 4 downs, 6, because that penalty. And I, like a lot of people, we had that penalty, and I said, oh well, it's over now. They're getting 4 more tries. They've already had 2. No. Chase Young running across the field when Joe Burrow was trying to run that ball into the end. Oh man, just
everyone. We all thought as soon as Joe Burrow escapes that pocket, we're all thinking that's a touchdown. And you see Chase beeline, not only beeline, but he runs straight at him and hits him with such a force that ball came out. I mean, you're absolutely right. That is the epitome of the team. When you think that, here we go, they come roaring back. And you can never count them out. And a lot of credit to you, Freddie, for bringing up the Chase Young fumble recovery. Because like you said, Daron Payne knocks that ball out. Daron Payne was also the lead blocker with Montez Sweat. And Chase Young, in his press conference, talked about how he was gassed. He literally, as soon as he got to the sideline, as he was running up, he said he was all out. He didn't have anything left in the tank. At that point, he's just essentially jogging because he can't go anymore. And here comes his boys. His boys coming up blocking and making sure that he wasn't going to come down before the end zone. That's the team, is it not? I mean, look at them all together with Ron Rivera, with everything going on in the offseason, with Alex Smith coming back. They weren't going to let their boys down, and they got each other's back. And that's essentially how I've felt, especially with us as podcasters and as fans. As crazy as this season has been, we've all had each other's back, have we not?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. No, I've leaned on you guys at one time or another, because we're a young podcast. We have a lot that we can help each other out with, learn from each other. Myself and Maddie Jane have learned a lot from you guys. You've helped us out with a lot of stuff, but I mean, just from a personal standpoint, just a friendship, standpoint. I mean, I've forged, relationships and friendships with a lot of people in the community that I'll take with me, well beyond football. Yeah. I mean, me and Andy, I mean, half the time Andy and I aren't even talking about, we're not even talking about watching a football team. We're talking about stuff in the UK. We're talking about music. We're talking
Carl,
about.
You know how far the Washington football team have come when you get Freddie ringing you at 2 a.m. forgetting that you're in the UK to talk about music, and I answered the call.
Freddie had a good night that night.
Yeah.
he was
had a good
excited.
Night 2 weeks ago too. I was telling Kyle about that.
Yeah. No.
Oh, geez, that's good times. Good times.
Yeah,
That's the Washington football team in a nutshell. The fact that we are all good friends now.
Yeah, and seriously,
that's
even look at the UK. I'm sorry, Freddie, but even look at the UK.
No.
We're represented by Andy, and Andy was on the NBC Sports Washington Football Talk with Julie Donaldson. I mean, just think about that. Did you think that a year ago, Andy, that you were going to be able to have that opportunity?
No, mate, I can't describe how mad the last nearly year now has been in my life. Yeah. The fact that when they were just like, Andy, you're good at talking, you don't shut up. Do you want to start a podcast? I was like, okay, yeah, I'll start a podcast. And I've always said many, many times, I'm not the most knowledgeable fan. I've learned so much through the season, and that's where the podcasting's helped, like with yourself, Carl, and Freddie, and everyone. We're all, we are the podcast community. But no, I couldn't dream of when I got that message saying, hi, NBC Washington, do you want to come on our show? I was like, what? It's kind of like, I'm here in the UK. They're like, look, we know what you do. And I've said this on, I think I said in our review pod, that wouldn't have happened with previous organizations, with
any
previous
other organization.
Staff. No, and that wouldn't have happened at the Washington organization before Julie and Jason Wright and Marcus Stevenson. Before them guys, they wouldn't have cared that I was over here in the UK about a podcast. I might not have started it, but that just proves that they do listen. They hear the fact that I'm tens of thousands of miles away. And they're like, hey, we want you on our TV show. We want to hear from you. And I can't tell you how big this football team is over here in the UK. Massive.
Oh, absolutely massive. And I learned that from you, to be perfectly honest, because when I would think about the NFL over in the UK, whenever they had those abroad games, you would think that there was a lot of a NFL presence. But when Washington played in it, you didn't notice that many Washington fans. They highlighted that there were multiple jerseys everywhere. it wasn't until your pod that you came around I started realizing, holy crap, dude, there is a buttload of these guys, the people, I'm not going to say guys, since obviously women as well, but a buttload of these people over there that we had no idea was there, you know? And
no.
That's why I deemed you with the nickname The Bridge. You know, you're the bridge between the UK and the States over here for people having an outlet to be able to do that, you know? And a lot of credit to you guys because I did not envision this happening over this year. I feel like we really should celebrate what this season has been. I don't think it's the end by any stretch, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
Imagine the Super Bowl pod.
I know. I told my wife last night. She actually made a comment. She's like, "Can you imagine if they were in the Super Bowl?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be naked. I don't care."
When's your kid due?
Yeah.
Wait, imagine if what happens if when's the wife due to give? When's the missus due
March
to give
11th.
birth?
March 11th.
Ooh, that baby better not come early, Carl. When's the Super Bowl weekend?
Should be. I think. What is it?
February the 20-something.
Oh snap! You're right.
Ooh.
I might have to make some
Well,
decisions.
hey.
If Mrs. Carl is listening to this, can we apologize for him not being at the birth?
Kyle, if you have a Super Bowl, if you're having a Super Bowl baby, I'm just telling you this: if we get in the Super Bowl, somebody getting pregnant. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's true. Hey, that is a real thing. Super Bowl babies are a real thing. They really are. So, look, I know that we talked about this season and everything all together, but let's start talking about this game tonight. You know, nobody is giving them a chance. I know D-Hall made a comment last night about how the team's going to get 10 sacks in a W. I love that kind of energy, D-Hall, but come on, man. Don't be doing that. Don't make us a laughing stock. You know what I mean? But it looks like Alex Smith, I had said in our pod earlier in the week that in the game against Philly, it looked like Alex Smith in that opening drive looked much different than he did in the rest of the game. And I had a worry that his injury had gotten worse during the game, and that was actually proven to be correct, that his calf tightened up. And everyone is reporting as of right now that most likely Taylor Heineke is going to be starting in this game tonight. So let's, off of that knowledge, Freddie, how confident are you with it?
On a confidence scale of 1 to 10,
yes.
10 being Tom Brady's playing for us, 1 being Dwayne Haskins is back.
That's a good one.
I would say my confidence level, and I have a little bit of a biased opinion because you said earlier, I'm from Virginia Beach, and obviously I know a whole lot of ODU fans, so I got to see Taylor Heineke play quite a bit, albeit in college against inferior competition. But I know the type of player that Taylor is, and he's getting this big shot at this time, and I don't think that the stage is too big for him. I think he's got the ability. Now, obviously, there's a reason why he wasn't drafted high. There's a reason why he's been a journeyman, all of those things, sure. But my confidence level in him is actually a 6 or a 7, and the reason why it's so high is just simply because of the supporting cast he has as far as his defense and everybody else. I think that there's a lot to be said about that too, not to mention the fact that, hey, these boys got nothing to lose. They got everything to gain, they got nothing to lose, and that is dangerous as hell in the playoffs.
It is. And so I read a tweet earlier that talked about, I think it was his coordinator or quarterback coach at Old Dominion, made a comment that said, I've had a lot of quarterbacks come through here, and Taylor Heineke was the only quarterback that could go through 5 reads. And I know everyone in the grand scheme of things would look at that and say, yeah, whatever. When I played football in high school, I played my junior year. I didn't play my first 2 years at Damascus. I transferred to a brand new high school. There was no senior class. We were the first older class in there. It was only juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. So we started from scratch. They hired this coach from Poolsville down the road. He came as our head coach. And so that was when I kind of realized how offenses work, because basically he was working with a whole bunch of kids that hadn't played football before. I had played as a peewee, but I didn't really remember that much. And so when you look at an offense, we had a playbook, and the playbook originally was very, very small. And when you would run a pass play, the pass play had only one option, and that was throwing it deep on a streak. And that was a play action deep. And so when you talk about these reads, you have to understand at the root how hard it is for somebody to be able to go through reading something and going through it. It is very, very difficult for an offense, seeing the root of where it comes from. And if Taylor Heineke can get through all 5 reads in college, he can get it done at this level. And that's why I'm at a 7 with Taylor Heineke. Tampa is very good against the run. They're number 1 rush defense in the league, but they are 21st, 22nd against the pass. Unfortunately for Alex, with that calf injury that we saw last week, throwing the ball is not his forte at this moment. But Taylor Heineke can throw the football. And if they are going to have a chance to be able to put up points in this game, it's going to have to be through the air, in my personal opinion. And that's why I have it at a 7, because his strengths go to Tampa Bay's defense's weakness. And that's why I feel confident with a 7. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think I spoke to a Tampa Bay fan today. I've met via various UK things that I've been doing the last few days. They've prepared for Alex Smith. Mm-hmm. So if Mr. Heineken comes into if he comes into the game, they're going to be unprepared for him. And I think you are right, Carl. I think he gives us more options down the field, which I know me and you have spoke off air many times about Terry McLaurin. I think his eyes will be lighting up with maybe someone like Mr. Heineken coming in to the game, because the deep threat is there. And, that's no disrespect to Alex, the fact that, that the deep threat maybe not be there as much. I'm not saying he can't do it, but I think it opens up more options for us on the offensive side of the ball. And people like him, Logan Thomas even, it gives him more scope for more plays. So yeah, I'm with you. 7 or 8 out of 10. I've got if he's in tonight, I've got no issues at all.
Yeah, and look, I know a lot of people are going to point out the fact that he had one quarter, he doesn't offer all that much and everything. Like, I get it. I'm just talking about his strengths. And his strengths just go to their weaknesses, in my personal opinion. And if he does have that gunslinger mentality, I'm all about it at this point. Let's throw everything at the wall. We don't have anything to hold back for. Our backs up are against the wall. Nobody expected us to be here. Why not roll the dice? Let's go play blackjack, baby. Let's put it all on black. Let's do it. I'm all for it, And that's how I kind of feel about this situation. And I know that everyone kind of views it as crazy, but in 2001 with the Patriots, I put it on Twitter, Drew Bledsoe was the starting quarterback. He was respected. He was acclimated. Everyone knew him in the NFL. He gets injured. Tom Brady comes in for the playoffs and goes on a hot streak, wins them going to the Super Bowl. By the time they get to the Super Bowl, Drew Bledsoe is healthy and Bill Belichick has to make a decision. Does he go with the hot streak hand, or does he go back to the acclimated quarterback that the media loves? And he ended up sticking with the young guy. And I'm just saying, I know it's insane. I'm not saying he's as good as Tom. I'm just saying it's a similar type of situation. What if Taylor Heineke comes out and just lights it up? What if?
I'm not going to be shocked if that happens, first of all. I'm going to be very, very happy and be very, very proud. The thing about Taylor Heineke, you talk about, he's a gunslinger. He's got the arm and he can go through his reads. Something that I don't think is getting talked about enough with Taylor is his mobility. Mm-hmm. But more than that is his feel for the pocket, how comfortable he is sitting in there, keeping his eyes down the field and being able to make those small movements, and being able to get himself in a position. He's always got his shoulders square. So
that is such an underrated
I'm not
aspect.
at all going to be surprised, if he comes out and he plays just lights out. On the other hand, I'm not going to be overly surprised if that doesn't happen, just because, but hey, I'm glass half full. My name's not Keith. So
I love Keith.
Love that man.
Well, yes. Oh no, we love him too. I would say I would lean more towards, even if we don't win, I would lean more towards Heineke having a good game than a bad game, honestly.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And like I saw the one story that came out where Taylor Heineke got picked up by the Patriots, and he wanted to make a lasting impression with them. So he was going to show up earlier than everyone else, and he was going to start watching film. He shows up at the facility, and Tom Brady's already there. And Tom Brady's looking at him like, who the hell is this guy? What are you doing here? And they ended up watching film together. But it's like, in the grand scheme of things, I work construction, right? And I'll never forget, my one project manager said to me one day, he said, Kyle, you're the real deal. Like, you care about what you do. You take pride in what you do. And I looked at him dumbfounded and was like, yeah, that's normal. And he was like, it's not. Not everyone feels that way. Not everyone goes about their work that way. And that's when I kind of realized, there are people who do that and there's people that don't. And the fact that Taylor Heinicke has that mindset, that he wants to make a lasting impression, he wants to work hard, he'll show up early and he wants to get it done, that kind of mindset is what I have confidence in on a life scale. Like, this is bigger than just football, that this dude wants to prove people wrong and make a name for himself. For that reason, that's why I'm very, very confident in him. I feel like that just gels with this football team so well. Just hard workers that they have one focus, tunnel vision, and that is to get the job done. And that's why I have full confidence in him.
And this is his shot. That's the other thing, too, that we need to think about. The fact that the dude everyone's been saying it, that he was studying for finals a month ago, and now he's here in this position. And he's here in this position with one of the best defenses in the league, and he's in the tournament. He's here. So, you want to talk about a hell of an opportunity? He'll never get another opportunity like this his entire life. Yeah. So, there's and I forget which author poet is. It's I don't know who said it, but
there's no way you read poetry.
We never know how high we are, Andy. We never know how high we are.
I've had a few beers, but there's no way.
Listen, let me get it out. Let me get out. Yo, don't act like Andy.
Where's Reed when you need him?
I think it's Dickens.
Yes, sure. Charles Dickens.
We never know how high we are until we are called to rise. But if we are true to plan, our statues touch the skies.
Yeah, and it's what a great way to put it. And
Freddie, I'm tearing up here.
And there's nothing.
Oh, fuck off, Andy.
But I will say,
Andy's taking the piss. You're taking the piss, mate.
You're taking a piss, mate.
You're taking the piss, mate. Hey, I'm going to say this in front of everybody so everyone can see I'm going to call. Andy, fucking coconut stall. That's an inside joke there with me and Andy.
I will say, there is nothing more dangerous than a person that knows that there's nothing to go back to. Now, I heard a quote. I think it was I was with a buddy last night whose sister is actually a director in Hollywood, or aspiring director. And there's a saying out there that there were people who were trying to be actors who failed and had a second option, or there were actors that succeeded that didn't have a second option. And that kind of is what I view with Taylor Heinicke, where his backup is against the wall. He knows that he can go back to his regular life, and that's great and all, but why not just throw everything to the wind? Why not just throw everything out there, go willy-nilly? That is a dangerous, dangerous combination for a team that is high on themselves, that expect them to be in the Super Bowl, almost overlooking it in a way. And that kind of freedom is a way to say it, is very dangerous in my opinion, and could be something that just lights a fire under this team. I've said it multiple times. They can go deep.
Ultimate job interview, isn't it?
It is.
It's the ultimate job interview for him. If he shines tonight on the national stage, it's like the best job interview. It will change his life.
He won't be studying for finals anymore afterwards. I can guarantee you that, Andy. So let's start talking about
rich man.
Let's start talking about this game, okay? So what are we wearing for tonight's game, Freddie?
We're wearing the iciest of the ice, the cleanest of the clean. Yo, keeping it fresh with the all whites. If you're not wearing a white jersey tonight, you're not doing it right. All right? We're going to keep it all right in the all whites. Okay? Got to keep it classy.
I feel like I'm on a podcast with Vanilla Ice.
So is it verified that they are wearing the all whites? It's not white on Burgundy. Has that been verified?
I think it has been it has been verified that it's white on white. If it's not, then the people over at Washington Football Park are going to get several boxes of excrement shipped to them.
Yeah.
I think it'll be white on white.
It has to be white
on
white.
Be in it.
And I know I'm wearing the Darryl Green Burgundy for this morning. I'm transferring to the white for the game. It's going to happen. 150%. I wouldn't let you down, Freddie. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be wearing the white on white for tonight. Without a doubt, I will be. What about you, Andy? What are you rocking for tonight's game?
I am, just so I don't get a drunkard call of Freddie at 2:00 in the morning, I am going to go and get my white Chase Young jersey. I'm going to rock it. I've rocked it every week. You got to wear whatever you wore, whatever brings you luck. You've got to go and wear it. So yeah, I will have my white Chase Young jersey on, my friend.
As will I.
Well, you know, Andy, if we win this playoff game, then I can't make any guarantees about that drunk call at 2 a.m.
I'll answer, my friend. I will answer.
He'll probably call you.
You're not going to be any drunk. Yes. It's like nearly 6:00 in the evening, and I'm already quite a few beers ahead of you guys. So you've got to catch up.
Yeah, it's only 12:45 here right now, so I can't be drinking just yet, but I will be. And I've said it on Twitter earlier in the week. I will be getting intoxicated for this game tonight. We don't see this very often, and I usually do not drink. But this is a celebration, in my personal opinion. As much as everyone wants to talk about how much it's going to suck and it's going to be painful watching this game go through, I'll be drunk during it. That way, I'll be enjoying every second of it, in my opinion. Now, what are we going to be eating tonight?
Just
and
hydrate,
drinking?
Kyle.
Oh, I'll be hydrated. Don't worry about me, baby. So my wife is the first one to tell me that.
Eating's cheating, Carl.
It is cheating, Andy. It is.
Yo, where is this going, bruh?
What do you eat?
Andy, I wanted to ask you something with the eating thing. So, fans over in the UK, I mean, because like over here in the States, it's like wings, like buffalo chicken dip, nachos, stuff like that. What are the game day eats for the UK fans over there? Like, is there y'all? Is it
Budweiser, Jaeger bombs, Stella.
It's just all beer.
The odd pizza. Do you know what? When I've been to the game, but when I go to the games at Wembley or White Hart Lane, wherever they are, they try and make it as Americana as they can. So it's very similar to what you guys do. We don't do that silly game where we throw that beanbag in that little hole, whatever that's called. I don't know what that
cornhole.
What the hell is that? What is this?
It's
I done that outside FedEx, and I was like, "What am I doing here?"
It's a way for
hey, Andy, you be careful talking smack about cornhole, especially if you get in the southern parts of the United States.
Dude, it's a way for non-athletic people to be competitive. I've always said that.
But I think we'll be pizza and beer tonight. It's going to be early for us. So by the time the game finishes, I'll be having breakfast.
Yeah, look, that was my question essentially.
Dip.
Is like with the UK fans, like, do you guys like pregame? Do you guys tailgate like we do? Like, are you cooking hot dogs and burgers, ordering pizza and wings, and going all out with that kind of stuff?
Do you know what? I get the one thing that I've been asked many, many times is, what do you think of the pregame? I've been to all the games over here in the UK, and I've been lucky enough to go to FedEx, and you guys do pregame so much better than us. I mean, when I was at FedEx, I think I've told you this story, Carl, when I first come on one of your first podcasts. I was outside FedEx Field, and I was like, how do I get a drink around here? They were like, just go to a table and give a guy like $1 and you can drink. And I was like, what? I can go to this guy's table, give him like $2 and drink as much as I like. They're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, you don't need to tell me twice. This is one of the greatest moments of my life. So you guys do it a lot better. You guys do it. So the Americana over there, you guys put on the show. And that's why the NFL is so big over here, because we love that side of it. We love,
that's awesome.
Don't get me wrong. We love the spectacle that we put on over here in the UK. But when we come over to you guys, my lovely wife bringing me a beer. Hi,
Mrs. Burrows.
Yeah, Carl says,
hello,
hi,
Mrs. Burrows.
She's here, but yeah, you guys do it so. I can't wait to be back over with you guys. And Carl, I've said this to you many times. I know you say you don't drink, but
I do drink, but it's only for celebrations. And when you guys come over and invade the U.S. for the second time, I will be here and I will be drinking with you. And I'm sure I will be passed out by 2 hours later. I can guarantee.
I think we're going to run a book. It's going to be you or Freddie. I'm going to go Freddie's passed out first.
I don't know. Freddie looks like he can throw some drinks back, dude. Don't challenge Freddie.
The level of disrespect right now, bro.
So look, I'm not. I'm not a drinker.
Reed's the one I'm worried about.
Reed
Andy, you
is a
better not
partier.
try to go over the middle when we get together and play football, because I'm gonna light your ass up.
You've got to catch me first, big boy.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh!
That's why Freddie's playing safety. It's gonna happen, dude. It's gonna happen. Man, we are going to have a great time when you guys come over here. I cannot wait for that to happen. And the one thing is, like, with football fans, especially over here, you know, a lot gets talked about the tailgating process and how I guess it's viewed as reckless in a way of everyone getting so drunk and everything like that. But it really is a family, especially when I've been there, of people, especially like with Tailgate Ted. You go to his tailgate, you just got to give him, I think it's like $5 or something like that. I'm not sure what it is, or $20. I'm not sure. But you just got to go give him money, and you can eat whatever the hell you want. You can drink whatever the hell you want. And that's like kind of what it's about, is that people bring something to give, you know? And like, think about that on a human scale. Like, there are people who get so hyped over this to pregame and get all of this ready just to be able to celebrate with other people. And that's essentially what we're doing here. Is that just trying to celebrate the season as much as we can, and the only way that we do know how to.
Yeah, and these tailgates, these podcasts, I mean, everything that we do, I mean, you know, we're not breaking even. We're, right. You know, where we are getting in return is the experiences that we have, the friendships that we forge, the memories that we create.
100%.
You know, I mean, that's where we're getting paid.
Yeah, and that is such a perfect way to say it, because like we had no idea this was even possible. To be able to be in an interview with Jason Wright, with Astasia Williams, to be able to give them our 2 cents and to be acknowledged in some sort of capacity is like, what? Like, I wasn't doing this to be acknowledged. I wasn't doing this to be able to have a say in the name. I just did it because I love to talk ball. And the fact that was possible, that's the only pay that we need. You know, like that is the best way to put it, Freddie. I can't stress that enough. And I've said it multiple times. I think that this season is more special than 2012. And that is simply not because of the play on the field. It's because of everything off of it and what has been happening, in my opinion. Not sure how you guys feel about that.
With team, like Freddie said right at the very start, team, and you know what I mean, I won't be disappointed if we keep the Washington football team name. I know over there you guys view it a little bit differently to us, but just from where we are this time last year, guys, we said it at the start, you know, look now, we're in the playoffs, we're here doing this. You've said, Carl, many times, I'd have 2 listeners on my podcast. I just enjoy talking about this football team. So the fact that we're in the playoffs, it's Saturday night, we're having a few beers and I'm chatting with my friends. Life is good.
Life is good. Is it not? Is it not, Freddie?
It's going to be even better tonight.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But one thing I wanted to...
no, I mean...
Sorry, go.
No, I mean, regardless, too, and I'll take the quote. You know, you guys have picked up on this, how I like quoting people. It's because I'm not that clever myself, so I just like to quote other people. But this is a line from... it's from 2 people. It's from Rally Cap, but I actually got it from my boy Chris Bryant. And, you know, it's with the game things, because I asked them how they kept such a positive attitude, you know, through all the losing and everything. Mm-hmm. And, you know, every time that we get to watch these games, that we get to talk to each other about it, that we get to, you know, have these experiences together, you know, that's the cake. And if we win, if we move on, that's the icing on the cake. But either way, we get the cake. We always got the cake with each other, man.
It is.
You and Carl are the perfect couple.
So true. So true.
He's the man. He's the man for these things. If I ever need inspiration, I'm like, I'll text Carl.
Dude, seriously though, I mean, when we did the play-by-play, Freddie and I, that was just off of a whim, off of an idea, and I absolutely loved it.
That was so good, by the way.
We got to do that again. That was fun.
Yeah, do you know how good that was?
That was
unbelievably good. You guys should do that.
Needs a lot of work.
And then the fact with Tay and Todd afterwards hearing it and then saying okay, and then they spliced it with the game footage. It's just like the fact that somebody did that for free just to do it, just because it was awesome to do. Like, think about that. The generosity of the people, especially in this fan base, is out of this world, to be perfectly honest with you. And I wanted to give a congratulations to the Washington football team for winning Social Team of the Year. And I know it's only on NFL's Fox Sports. They did the poll on Twitter, but they earned it. I mean, did they not? I mean, how hard is it to be able to stay focused throughout a season with everything going off the field, and they still won the award for Social Team of the Year. They still have that interaction and have being able to pump out such a great product. Congratulations to them. They absolutely deserved it. Without a doubt in my mind.
Full credit to them. They interacted with us so much, and full credit to them. They 100% deserve it.
I don't even think it was close. I think they beat everyone else by like 10%.
Did you see the Chargers actually tweeted at the Washington football team, getting all salty about it? They weren't happy. Yeah, go back and look at the Chargers Twitter. They tweeted the actual Washington football team, like saying, "What?" I was like, "This wasn't even close." You know, you've only got to scroll through Twitter and just look how much Washington content. It's unbelievable.
I got a buddy that's a Chargers fan, and they do not deserve it. And I'm sorry, but the Washington football team has literally blown everyone else out of the water this year with everything that they have produced. I know there are some people that are deserving of it, but much congratulations to them. And then Brandon Sheriff, the first All-Pro Washington football team player, going back to almost, 30 years? 20-something years? What is it? Am I wrong with that, Freddie?
No, you're correct. It's very, very well deserved. I'm very, very proud of Brandon. I've been very, very critical of Brandon at times. And there have been times where he's been inconsistent, but dude is just a warrior. Mm-hmm. You know, he's got that type of mentality. He is perfectly built for this team. He's exactly the type of player that you want. And I hope that we're able to make a run here in these playoffs for a lot of players, and he's one of them in particular. You know, Kerrigan's another one, just because with some things that are going to end up happening in the offseason. I don't know if we're going to be able to bring him back. So I would like to be able to send him out in a positive way.
Yeah, and that's going to be hard to watch.
We don't have to talk about that yet.
I know it's gonna be hard to watch. Yeah, and I don't want to make it like that. But look, let's do our predictions for tonight's game, okay? And let's keep it with you, Freddie, while we're already on it.
All right. So you want score prediction?
Yeah.
All right. Score prediction is 24-16, Washington.
I love it, and
we take it.
I loved how the national media made a joke out of it. That the Washington football team can't score 27. There's no way that's possible.
There's one more thing here, okay? Tampa Bay is going to score 13 points in the first half. We're only going to score 10. So we're going to put up 2 touchdowns in the second half. And they are going to score on us in the second half, but they're only going to get a field goal.
I like that. And I know that Burrows kind of killed me for the pod on Thursday because I said Steven Sims is going to have a big game.
Don't say it again.
But I have noticed.
Hello, I'm just texting Reed. He's saying it again.
No, but seriously, the reason why I say that is because a lot of these playoff teams, I've watched over the years the Nationals, and the Capitals. It's those players, the ones that kind of throw games early in the season that kind of play bad. They tend to rise to the occasion, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Steven Sims have a huge play in tonight's game out of that punt return. And I think that Ron Rivera's words of encouragement over the week goes a long way, especially with somebody like Steven Sims, who's had a rough couple weeks and has muffed a couple punts and been the reason why we've lost some of these games. But I just have a feeling that we're going to see some special stuff tonight. And I just have Steven Sims scoring a kickback or something like that, having a huge game. I think they're going to win 27-24. It's going to be a close one. But Dustin Hopkins, the guy the punching bag of the fan base all season, is going to have the game-sealing field goal to win, to push us on to next week, going to Lambeau to face the Green Bay Packers. What about you, Burrows? What's your prediction?
23-21 Washington.
A lot of field goals.
I think we'll limit them to, because of our defense, I think we'll limit them to field goals. So I think we're not. I so want us to be good on offense. We don't know who's starting at quarterback yet.
Yeah,
we don't know how well Alex is going to move. So I don't think. I mean, I was listening to Undisputed and First Take, and they were like 40 points to the Buccaneers, and us down. But that's not going to happen. If you've watched Washington football all season like we have, That's not going to happen. They clearly haven't watched us play this season because a Ron Rivera team isn't going to let that happen no matter what. They're going to die on their sword. I think we win an absolute barnstormer of a game, and I think we go on to take the Green Bay Packers, kick their ass, win the next game, go to the Super Bowl. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah, and honestly, the way I'm feeling about this game, I'm not nervous. I'm not sitting here thinking like I usually do that everything's going to go wrong. There's bad things happening. I just kind of feel free in a way. I feel excited. I feel like it's a celebration of the season and where they are at this point. I don't know, man. Why not us? Why can't this be a thing that just blows the league wide open and just says, what is going on here? Who are these guys, essentially? And that's kind of my feeling about it. All right, everybody. Well, I thank you so much for pre-gaming with the boys, with the Joint Pod, with Freddie Ham of the HTWeAre podcast, with Burrows, a.k.a. The Bridge, from the UK with the DC Tweet Team podcast, being able to talk with us. It's been a great one, fellas. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm sorry my camera looks like I'm in a 1960s black and white movie. But Carl, thank you. Honestly, always a pleasure to talk. Freddie, I love you, man. Carl, you are the GOAT. I know you don't like it, but what you do for the Washington fan base, my friend, and the Burgundy Zone, amazing, amazing work, my friend. Always a pleasure to talk football with you guys.
Yeah, I hate that, not the GOAT, but what is the GOAT is this fan base. The best fan base in all of sports. The only reason that we are here is because of the fan base and the team. And I know it's been a hard road for all of us, through all of this time. And the fact that there's still so many passionate fans speaks a lot about the people. Am I wrong?
You're 100% right, Kyle, and I love you, Andy. It's always
I will speak to you. I will speak to you at 3 a.m. no doubt.
Yeah. And I gotta echo Andy's sentiments too with Kyle. No, Kyle, you really are the GOAT. You came in here and you just flipped Washington football podcast community on its head. Like,
yes,
you're that dude. Like, it's like you weren't destined to be here. Maybe you weren't supposed to be here, but you're here and you're doing it probably better than just about anybody else, man. Like, and we kind of we go as you go, man. Like, you're that dude, and I'm proud to say that we're part of the same community, and I'm even more privileged to say that I can call you a friend, man.
All right, absolutely. Right back at you, brother. I really don't think that is true in the slightest, because I really do believe that we all kind of
and humble, humble.
We all kind of
such a humble man, Carl.
We all kind of pushed ourselves to be here, as a group, as we all kind of facilitated this thing and grew as an organism, throughout the season. And the fact is that we've all been there for each other. I wouldn't have had the pedestal I had if you guys weren't so generous in being able to talk football and being able to listen to football as well. So the fact is that we're here because of us, and that I just can't thank you guys enough for the generosity, because that goes a long way with strangers. There's so many people, the Tay and Todd podcast, Maddie Jane of your podcast, Maurice with the DC Tweet Team podcast. You got Josh Taylor with the Burgundy Network. All do such a great job.
Douglas.
And Douglas, too, man. There's so many people to, like...
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that guy is lighting it up, too. And Jesse's going to be coming out with his own podcast here soon. And the more the merrier, man. And I really do say that it is not a competition between all of us, but we all celebrate the same thing.
Nope.
And that's what needs to be celebrated, in my opinion. All right, everybody. Good luck tonight. I hope you guys wear your whites for this game tonight. White on white. What is this saying, Freddie?
It's Freddie, do the song.
In the all whites. Fight, fight, fight. Saturday night.
Hey, there we go. It's
in the white on whites.
All right, everybody. I'm Kyle from the Burgundy Zone.
I am Andy in the 1960s camera. Little joke for you there, Reed.
And I'm Freddie Ham, one half of HTWeAre.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody. Good luck tonight. I hope you enjoy, and hopefully we'll be talking about another playoff game next weekend. Washington football. Woo! Washington football. Woo!